Hey guys, Seraph here with a RK9 hard mode guide. All the back kits will cause a stun, so be sure to iframe them. For range DPS, you can stay farther than 14 meters to be safe, but make sure to go back closer to the boss until the next gear crash attack. If stunned players are not cleansed fast enough, the boss will initiate a 5-time bombing special attack. The first hit of initiating destruction system will cause a silence for the whole missile launch duration. It is a huge DPS loss, so be sure to iframe it. Time bombs now spawn in sets of 2 and in sets of 3 when below a 50% HP. This means that from below 50% HP, each DPS has to be able to break a time bomb themselves. In addition, a movement slow is added to the bleed debuff for failing to break a time bomb, and the debuff cannot be cleansed. In most cases, failing to break one time bomb will kill half of the party, while failing to break 2 time bombs will most likely cause a wipe. Usually, time bomb attack is followed by a 5-time bombing special attack and then a vacuum bomb attack, so be sure to break the bombs before getting leashed in by the vacuum. As previously stated, most if not all 5-time bombing special attack that are not induced by stuns will be followed by a vacuum bomb attack. Leash can be iframed. A new Ventilator Mechanic is added. The objective of the mechanic is to look for a ventilation path on the ground and step to the side before the ventilator activates. Failing to do so will result in being flown away and rolled to the ground. Priests can use Kaya's shield, and Lancers can use Rallying Cry to prevent the party from being flown away. Note that the radius of effect for Lance's Rallying Cry is a lot smaller than Kaya's shield, so be sure to stick close to the boss when attempting to use this tactic. Berserkers can also use Mocking Shout just for themselves. This mechanic cannot be iframed. A new pizza mechanic is added. The objective of the mechanic is to find one wedge out of 8 wedges that did not get designated for AoE damage from 2 iterations of AoE. On the first iteration, 3 out of 8 wedges get designated for AoE. These 3 wedges will not get targeted on the second iteration. Then 4 out of 8 wedges that are different from the first 3 get designated for AoE. This means that one wedge has not been targeted and it is the safe zone for the third AoE. The players must then immediately move to the untargeted wedge until the third AoE strikes. Getting hit by an AoE will one-shot players and it cannot be iframed. Pistons on the edge of the combat area will one-shot players. Initiate Disposal Process attack now targets 3 players in total, 1 at a time, and this happens while there are pistons dropping. Having to place the electric spears away from the boss and in a linear fashion will secure a good safe spot for the party. In the worst case scenario, a single player may be targeted up to 3 times in a row, so healers need to be swift in cleansing and healing. Shutting Down Area Special Attack now has 2 initiating forms. The first one is the same as in normal mode, where the boss raises both arms and executes a big inner AoE attack, followed by either a smaller AoE or a donut AoE. For the second one, there is an added bit where the boss crosses both arms and executes an outer AoE that pulls anyone caught outside in towards the boss, inflicting damage and a silence debuff. Thereafter, the boss raises both arms and continues with the special attack. The silence can be cleansed, so healers can pre-cleanse and allow party members to escape the big inner AoE. A new binary mechanic is added. The objective of the mechanic is to find and move into safe spots for 3 rounds of pizza cutter type gear blades. First, the boss jumps towards one side of the combat area and flashes a red 7-bit binary message in the center, indicating how the 3rd round of gear blades will form. Before we go on, do understand that 1 indicates that a gear blade will form at the corresponding segment, and 0 indicates that a gear blade will not form at that segment. Knowing this, the first set of blades will be 1010101, which means that the middle segment will be the safe spot. On second round, the blades alternate to 010110, forming 3 gear blades. For the third and final round, you need to recall that 7-bit binary message and move accordingly. The binary message will either be 10111110 or 011101. The easiest way for me to decipher the message is to look for the closest 0 bit from the middle and move a segment at a time towards it. For first-time players who are not comfortable with this yet, there is a wee bit safe spot on both sides between 2 pistons. Note that when the boss lands from the jump, it is a one-shot and cannot be iframed. Back hit of the front back attack will stun players. Make sure to iframe accordingly. Fan wave of the triple hit smash attack will do a massive damage, and in most cases without special damage reduction, getting hit will one-shot players. As it is in normal mode, the fan wave cannot be iframed, so do step to the side. Below 70% HP, S-bomb attack will now hit twice, once in the designated hand position, followed by another S-bomb of the other hand position. Iframes or movement skills must instantly follow the first S-bomb hit, otherwise you will get caught on the second S-bomb. Initially, you can try to dodge out perpendicular to the boss to secure survivability, but it is a DPS loss and is not recommended. As it is in normal mode, S-bomb cannot be iframed. Unidentified creature detected will one-shot players and cannot be iframed. At 95% HP, the boss will initiate protection protocol and place 5 barrier deactivators on the combat area. Activating these devices will activate extreme mode of the final boss. These devices are placed at 1, 5, 7, 11, and 12 o'clock, with the gate or entrance being designated 6 o'clock. With 11, 12, and 1 o'clock devices spawning behind the boss, DPS are responsible for activating these devices, while tank and healer are responsible for the front 2 devices. Activating these devices is optional, and not doing so will simply continue with hard mode. A new heat detection protocol mechanic is added. The objective of the mechanic is to act upon the previous message, then the current one. At 97%, the first heat detection protocol states a message with no mechanic. The message will contain keywords melee, ranged, or multi-ranged. Melee indicates an inner AoE, ranged indicates an outer AoE, and multi-ranged indicates an outer spread attack. While the outer spread attack can be iframed, the inner and outer AoE cannot. The next heat detection protocol will be the actual attack with a message that contains 1 to 2 keywords that was not stated previously. The mechanic then initiates the pattern of the previous keyword, then the pattern of the current keyword. For example, if the previous message is multi-ranged and the current message is melee, then the boss will do an outer spread attack followed by an inner AoE. After the mechanic, the current message becomes the previous message, and the next heat detection protocol will indicate a new current message. A new system parameter mechanic is added. This mechanic is extreme mode exclusive and is only present when the 5 barrier deactivators are activated. The parameter is a bitwise parameter which will either be 1 or 0. Depending on the state, the order of pattern for heat detection protocol will change. If the system parameter adjusts to state 1, the pattern order will be the same as hard mode, where the previous pattern hits first, then the current pattern second. If the system parameter adjusts to state 0, the pattern order will be reversed, where the current pattern hits first, then the previous pattern hits second. The state is indicated by a green or red triangle underneath the boss, green being 1 and red being 0. That's it for hard mode, and thanks for watching.